Let's talk about something no one wants to admit. The number one reason aspiring entrepreneurs don't succeed, it isn't lack of money, it isn't lack of time, and it isn't lack of a good idea. It's fear dressed up as preparation. I'm Will Palmer, and for nearly 40 years, I've watched thousands of people with $1 million ideas stay stuck in jobs they hate, waiting for the perfect time, not realizing the perfect time does not exist. This is Capture Cashflow, where we turn inspiring entrepreneurs into profitable business owners using proven principles. No business school required, no excuses accepted. Today, we're exposing the 3 lies that's keeping you stuck. And more importantly, I'm giving you the truth that will put you on a path to financial freedom. Welcome to the very first episode of Capture Cashflow. If you read my book, you already know. I don't do fluff, I don't do theory. I do what works. Now, here's what makes this podcast different. I'm not going to tell you to follow your passions, believe in yourself, and leave it at that. I'm going to give you frameworks, systems, and actions that you could take this week to move you from dreaming about a business to actually building your own. Before we dive in, let me be clear about something. Palmer's Principles is not just based on my 4 decades of business experience. I spent many years studying some of the most successful entrepreneurs since the Industrial Revolution to the present day, from Rockefeller and Morgan to Bezos and Musk, and scores of billionaires in between. I've analyzed what they did when they started, and not just when they became billionaires. And the same principles show up again and again and again. The frameworks I teach aren't theory. They are patterns that have created wealth for over a century. This episode is crucial because if you don't understand what's stopping you, you will keep stopping yourself. So let's get into it. The uncomfortable truth. Right now, there are 3 versions of you. Number 1, the you that exists today. Maybe working a job that pays the bills but crushes your soul, trading time for money while making someone else rich. Number 2, the you that could exist, running a profitable business with financial freedom and control over your time, building something that matters. And number 3, the you that's stuck between the two, the aspiring entrepreneur, reading books, watching YouTube videos, researching, planning, preparing, but never starting a business. Here's the brutal truth. Most people stay stuck in version 3 forever. The 3 lies. Let me tell you the 3 lies you've been telling yourself. I know this because I've heard it from thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs, and I used to tell myself the same lies. Lie number 1, I need more money to start. You tell yourself, all I need is 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, and then I'll be able to start my business. The truth, some of the most successful businesses in history have started with less money than you have in your bank account right now. Sarah Blakely started her business with $5,000. Now she's a self-made billionaire. Dick Patillo opened a hot dog stand with $1,100. He sold his business for over $1 billion. I started my cab service with $1,100. I served millions, employed thousands, and lasted 30 years. Don't get it twisted. Money helps, but it's not the barrier you think it is. I've seen people with $100,000 fail because they didn't know what to do with it. I've also seen people with $500 build 6-figure businesses, not because they were resource rich, but because they were resourceful. Lie number 2, I need more time. You think, when things slow down at work, when the kids get older, when I have more time, then I'll start. The truth, you'll never have more time than you do right now. Time doesn't magically appear. You create time by saying no to the things that don't matter and yes to the things that does. Some of the entrepreneurs you admire started while working a full-time job. They started with kids. They started while going to school. They didn't wait for time. They made it. And here's what nobody tells you. Starting a business while having a job is actually smarter. You maintain your lifestyle. You validate your business idea. You build a strong customer base. You generate revenue from your business before you ever quit. That's not a weakness. That's a great strategy. Lie number 3, I need more knowledge. You tell yourself, I need one more course, read one more book, watch one more YouTube video, get one more certification, then I'll be ready. The truth is, you're addicted to learning as a form of procrastination. I call this analysis paralysis. You study and study and study, but you never execute. The truth is, you will never be 100% ready. Ever. The knowledge you actually need comes from doing, not from consuming more content. You don't learn how to swim from reading a book. You learn by getting in the water. So, if it's not money, time, or knowledge, What's actually stopping you? It's fear. But fear is sneaky. It doesn't show up with a sign saying I'm fear. It disguises itself as rational concerns. What if I fail? What if people think I look stupid? What if I lose money? What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? Let me tell you what fear actually stands for. False evidence appearing real. Your brain is trying to protect you from something that will never happen. And if it does, you'll be able to handle it. Now, here's what I've learned from 4 decades of business. Regret weighs tons, discipline weighs ounces. The pain of trying and adapting is temporary. The pain of looking back 5 years from now and wishing I would have started is permanent. So how do you actually break through this? Here's the frameworks I teach in Palmer's Principles. Step 1, acknowledge your fear, then act anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking the next step despite it. You don't need to be brave. You just need to take the next step despite it. Step 2, start small, not perfect. You don't need a complete business built when you launch. You need a proof of concept, the smallest version of your idea that proves people are willing to pay for it. For example, if you want to start a catering business, you do not need a commercial kitchen and a full staff. You need to prepare one meal for one person who's willing to pay for it and deliver it. That's it. That's proof of concept. Everything else builds from there. Step 3, set a deadline. Someday is not a date on anybody's calendar. Okay, here's your deadline. 30 days from now, you will have completed one proof of concept. Not a perfect business, not a full product. One test to prove your idea has legs. Number 4, understanding the real risk. You think the risk is starting and failing, but the real risk is not starting at all and spending the rest of your life wondering, what if? What's riskier? Testing out a $500 business idea while keeping your job, or staying on a job you hate for the next 30 years? When you put it like that, the answer should be obvious. Let me tell you exactly how this played out for one of the self-made billionaires I mentioned earlier, Sarah Blakely and Spanx. Sarah was 27 years old, going door to door selling fax machines, and she hated her pantyhose. They were uncomfortable, showed seam lines when she wore white pants, and her toes were exposed when she wore open-toe shoes. She had an idea to solve the problem by cutting the feet off the pantyhose. Now, here's where most people would have stopped. She had no money. She only had $5,000 in savings. She had no time. She worked full-time selling fax machines door to door. She had no knowledge, zero experience in manufacturing, fashion, or starting a business. And she had no connections. She didn't know a single person in the industry. And watch what she did. She followed the exact frameworks I teach in Palmer's Principles. If you can spell business, I can teach you how to start yours today. B, belief. Believe in yourself and your resources. Success starts in the conviction that your business is viable and that you have the ability to execute it. U, undertaking. Develop effective and productive habits and tools. Build systems and routines that support consistent action and improvements. S, service. Focus on offering valuable products and services. Your business exists to solve problems for your customers. Keep their needs at the center. I, individuals. Build strong relationships with partners and customers. Your business succeeds through people and connections. N, networks. Create processes for continuous improvement. Build systems that allow your business to scale and improve over time. E, evaluate. Always assess and improve your business. Review what's working and what is not, and adjust accordingly. S, set up. Establish a legitimate business with a business credit profile. This foundation protects you and enables growth. S, shout. Promote your brand to increase sales. You can have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about it, you won't survive. Now let's apply these principles to Sarah Blakely. B, belief. She recognized what she already had. She didn't focus on what she lacked. She took inventory of what she did have. Personal experience. She knew the problem intimately because she lived it every day. Work experience. She leveled her sales experience, learned from selling fax machines. Passion. She obsessed with solving the problem. Resourcefulness. She had enough money in her bank to test her idea. Willingness to learn. She went to the library and researched how to write a patent. She did not wait for the perfect conditions. She used what she had. Undertaking. She worked smart, not just hard. She kept her day job selling fax machines. She worked on Spanx at night and on the weekends. She did not quit her job to build her dream. She remained stable while building it. She called manufacturers for months. Every single one rejected her. They thought her idea was ridiculous. Finally, one manufacturer called her back and agreed to make her prototype. Service. She started with a proof of concept. She did not build a full line. She created one product, footless pantyhose. She tested the product herself. It worked. She showed it to potential customers. They wanted it. That was her proof of concept. Simple, small, but validated. Individuals. She built strategic relationships. Here's where it gets interesting. She understood that business is about people and not just products. Understanding her customer. She didn't guess what women wanted. She was a customer. She understood the pain points intimately. She knew they'd pay for a solution because she would have herself. That's customer avatar work at its finest. Building her support team. She found a patent attorney who was willing to work with her limited budget. She convinced one manufacturer to believe in her vision when everyone else told her no. When she got to the meeting with the Neiman Marcus buyer, she didn't just pitch. She built a relationship. That's the individual principles in action. Your network of relationships, customers, partners, and team members determines your success. Networks. She created systems that scaled. She built processes. She didn't just build one pair of Spanx and call it a day. She built a repeatable manufacturing process with her manufacturer, and she established quality control standards. She built for scale. She thought about systems. She built relationships with her manufacturer. She had processes in place and a system that could handle the growth. When the orders flooded in, she fulfilled them. That's the power of networks and systems. Evaluation. She knew her numbers. She understood unit economics. She knew exactly what it cost to produce one pair of Spanx. She knew her profit margin per unit. She priced strategically, high enough to maintain healthy margins and accessible enough to build a customer base. When retailers came to negotiate, she knew her numbers cold. She couldn't afford to give away margins she didn't have. Setup. She built credibility from day one. She hired a patent attorney to protect her idea. She registered her business properly. She trademarked her name. And she didn't cut corners when it came to her foundation. Shout. She made herself impossible to ignore. She didn't have money for advertising, so she got creative. She called Neiman Marcus, asked for a meeting. During the meeting, when the buyer got skeptical, she took the buyer to the bathroom and gave a before and after demonstration, one with pantyhose and one with Spanx. The buyer ordered the Spanx. And the big breakthrough came when Oprah named Spanx one of her favorite things. She did it without outside investors. She owned 100% of her company. She took $5,000 and turned it into over $1 billion. Here's what makes it even more powerful. She didn't just succeed. She built a sustainable business that still stands today. She started scared. She started with almost nothing. She started imperfect. Every single principle I teach, all 8 of them, Sarah Blakely used. I simply identified them and gave them structure. Now that's the power of Palmer principles. They're not theory. They're the pattern of every single successful entrepreneur I've ever heard of. I know what you're thinking. Let me address the yeah, but thoughts running through your head right now. Yeah, but my idea is different. It requires startup capital. Sarah Blakely needed manufacturing. That's not cheap. She didn't start with a factory. She started with a manufacturer that made one prototype and took a chance on her. You don't need a fancy website on day one. Use a free platform. You don't need a $5,000 logo designer. Use Canva. You don't even need inventory, drop ship, or pre-sale. Strip your idea down to the absolute core. What's the smallest version of your product that proves people will pay? Start there. Yeah, but I literally have no time. Sarah Blakely was working full-time selling fax machines and built Spanx at night. Let me ask you, how many hours of Netflix did you watch last night? Or how many hours a week did you spend scrolling social media? I'm not judging. I'm just asking you to be honest with yourself. You have time. You just spend it on things that are not building your future. 5 hours a week, that's all I'm asking. 1 day a week from Monday through Friday. Wake up 1 hour early, stay up 1 hour late, or use your lunch break. 5 hours a week, that's 260 hours a year. That's more than enough time to build a successful side business. Yeah, but what if I fail? Sarah got rejected by every manufacturer she called for months. That didn't stop her. You will fail at something. It's guaranteed. Your first marketing message may not be perfect. Your first pricing strategy may need adjusting. Your first product may have flaws. That's not failure, that's learning. The only real failure is not trying. That's when you learn nothing and build nothing. All right, here's what we're going to do next week. Not next month, not when you're ready, next week. Action 1, write down your business idea. Grab a piece of paper or open a note in your phone. Answer these questions. What problem will I solve? Who has the problem? How will I solve the problem? And what's the simplest version for the solution? Don't overthink, just write. Action 2, research your business idea. Use AI, search the business idea. Look for competitors. If they exist, that's a good thing. That means there is demand. Check Google Trends to see if demand is declining or growing. Read customer reviews on similar products to find out what people love and what they complain about. Look at Facebook, Reddit, and industry forums to see if people are actively discussing the problem you're trying to solve and find out if they are asking for solutions. Listen, take notes, and adjust your idea as needed. Action 3, set a 30-day deadline. Pull out your calendar right now. Go 30 days from now and write down proof of concept complete. That's it. Within 30 days, you will test your offer with one real customer or one real attempt to validate demand. Not a perfect business, just proof that someone wants what you're offering. Bonus action. Download the resource inventory worksheet. Go to capturecashflow.com to download the free resource inventory worksheet. This will help you identify what you already have that's worth money. Skills, experiences, relationships, passions, and hobbies. You'll be shocked how much you already possess. Here's the bottom line. Blakely didn't have advantages you don't have. She had a small savings, a full-time job, and a business idea that people told her was stupid. But she refused to let fear, lack of money, or lack of knowledge stop her. The difference between aspiring entrepreneurs and actual entrepreneurs is simple. Actual entrepreneurs take action. Not when conditions are perfect, not when they have all the answers, not when fear goes away. They start scared, they start small, they start imperfect, but they start. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. You've been waiting for permission. You have it. You've been waiting to feel ready. You never will. Start anyway. 30 days from now, you either have proof of concept or the same excuses. Your choice. If you're serious about building a business that generates real cash flow, visit CaptureCashflow.com. Get the complete framework, download the free tools, stop waiting. Next week, we'll dive into the zero business audit. Identify what you already have that's worth money. You're going to discover you're sitting on assets that you didn't even know existed. Until then, take action, start small, build something. This is Capture Cashflow. Let's build your business.